Welcome to another episode of Pages and Potions podcast, where we dive deep into delicious drinks and give you our hot takes, craziest theories, and fun reviews of some of our favorite books. We're your hosts, Courtney and Devin, and thank you for joining us during what we hope is your happy hour and the escape from the 9 to 5. Before we dive in, it's very important to remind you that this is a not safe for work podcast. We talk about explicit books using explicit language, so if that's not your cup of tea, or if you have little ears around you right now, this might not be for you. But for this episode only, we will be spoiler free. So feel free to listen, even if you haven't read the book, because it's not out yet. Okay? If you're still here, let's get into it. This week's episode is so special to us because we had the absolute pleasure of talking about The Wild Kingdom, our dear friend Paige Hurtubise's first published novel, coming out very soon. Devin and I were incredibly fortunate to be part of the beta reading team, and we are so thrilled to be able to share this with you. Today's episode will be a little bit different because the book is due to come out in the next few weeks, and we don't want to spoil anything for you. So today we'll be talking about The Wild Kingdom and exactly how it matches up to our must-haves when it comes to romantasy. Okay, so let's dive in. But of course, we still needed a cocktail pairing. So let us introduce you, or let Devin introduce you, to our Wild Strawberry Basil Gimlet. Devin, take it away.
Baby. Thank you. This is one of my favorite drinks, and the reason I say that is because I actually need to credit a former boss of mine who actually created this drink. His name is Andrew Yakalashik. It was featured on a restaurant menu that I used to work at, and so I don't have the honor of actually creating this one, but I thought it would work so well with the kind of like wild vibes that this book has because of the fresh herbs and the punch of the gin. So to make this wonderful, gorgeous cocktail, you're going to take 2 ounces of gin. You're going to muddle, I say 3 strawberries, but kind of muddle however many you feel is appropriate for you. And you're going to muddle that with 2 ounces of lime juice and a teaspoon of sugar. If you want it a little bit sweeter, you can just add a little bit more sugar. And you're going to also put in 3 big sprigs of fresh basil and muddle that up. Add all of those to a shaker with ice. You want to put your basil on the bottom, and you want to shake it really hard for about 2 minutes because you want to activate all of the oils and flavor out of that basil so it kind of infuses into the drink. You're going to strain it into a fresh glass with ice, and you're going to top it with soda water or Sprite and enjoy. Now, I made it and did not top it with soda water, so it's a little boozy, but it is a very beautiful, delicious drink. So
now, before we cheers, I brought back a classic. I brought back the muddler.
For those not watching, it's the end of a spatula that she uses as her muddler.
Spatula.
Yeah, I love it.
It did not work
Beautiful.
Extremely well for the strawberries, though. Let me tell you, I struggled.
You did your best. You did your best. So, and
okay.
Also, Courtney, did you have basil? You did not have basil.
I didn't have basil, no, and I was too lazy to go to the grocery store to get it. So mine is just like a strawberry lime situation with a strawberry garnish. Look at that. Look at how fancy I am today. Like, look at it. So great.
Okay, cheers. Let's give this a try.
Cheers.
Hot dog.
Oh, mama.
That's real good.
It's so good. It's really fresh. I really do wish I had the basil because I think it would just freshen it up just that much more.
Yeah, it is. I have little bits of basil floating in mine, and it is something, but it's delicious. Okay, now before we get into everything with this book and our must-haves, I think it's super important to read you the back of the book so everybody has an understanding kind of what this book is about without being too spoilery. We thought about doing an unhinged synopsis, but it's really hard to do that when you're trying to not spoil anything. So
yeah, not this time. after the
No.
book comes out, I am stoked to write an
Yes.
unhinged synopsis
Well,
for this one, but I don't want
and
to spoil
maybe
it.
perhaps for the next episode that we're doing that we can talk about at the end of this episode, that would be the more appropriate time to then give the unhinged synopsis. But we can talk about that at the
Yes.
end. All right, this is the excerpt from the back of the book. This is The Wild Kingdom by Paige Hurtubise, our dear friend. Okay. If they ever found out what I was, I would be dead in minutes. Olin has lived on the run for years, moving from village to village to escape the Wild King's commander, the only person who knows her secret. She's human, not the imp she pretends to be, a crime punishable by death. Finding one of the well-hidden gates to the human world is her only chance to escape, but before she can get away, a creature long believed extinct destroys her village and sends her fleeing, right into the hands of the Wild King. Instead of killing her, he offers her a bargain. Stay in the palace for 3 months to help him discover why she's at the center of a war that has been brewing for centuries, and he'll give her the location of the gate. As they form an uneasy alliance, they are wound closer and closer by an all-consuming pull of desire that neither of them can seem to escape. If they don't unravel the truth in time, millions will die and kingdoms will burn. Oh, baby. So that's the book excerpt. Hot damn. Okay.
Hot damn.
So here's how this is going to work. We have exactly 5 things that we feel make a romancy a 5-star read for us, and we're going to break it down for you. Number 1 is world building. Is this world believable? Do we want to know more about it? Does it grab us?
Yeah. I think this world is really cool because, like, you meet Olin on one kind of part of the world, so to speak, like one kingdom, right? Mm-hmm. And you know that there are other kingdoms, like you learn there are other kingdoms, but we don't really know a whole bunch about them. So like, you know, like we learn about her kingdom a little bit that she lives in. We learn about another kingdom, but we don't really learn about the world as a whole. And that makes me want to learn more. Like I want to know more about this world. What about you?
100%. She does a really great job of kind of like breadcrumbing enough information that Olin also has kind of holes in her like point of view and her perspective as well. So it also feels like you're kind of learning with her. So you're not really left behind in that, which I really appreciate. And it really just adds to the whole kind of adventure discovery of it all. Because it's not like, you know how sometimes you get a narrator that just kind of like lays it all out and this is how it is and here we are and there we go. And it's, you know, you're kind of just being told the story, but it feels very much like you're kind of living the story with this book, which is really cool.
Yeah, I love that about it. Like you really do. You discover things as you go along versus the like world building dump at the beginning. You know?
Crescent City. Did I think you said that?
Yeah, I don't know. So second on our list, character development and relatability. So we need us some good characters. Like otherwise we're not going to get sucked into the book. We're not going to like it. We're not going to keep reading it if the characters are boring, right? So like, does this character draw us in? Does Olin draw us in, or any other characters in the book? Do we want to know more about her? Does she change throughout the journey? Does anyone, you know, do you see character development throughout the book? What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, as I said previously, right? Like there is that kind of lens of like, we are learning alongside her. It's not just like a world building dump. It's like an opportunity to also learn and grow with her. So we are learning more with her. And I also think there are other great side characters that are kind of giving us a better understanding to the world and also kind of helping build different layers to the overall story arc. I mean, we also meet a character named Samia, who is actually one of my absolute favorite characters of this book. Her journey is really cool. It's really, really cool. And when you first start reading her like excerpts, you're kind of like, I don't know. But then there's like she also has another side character in her story that's just like, oh my god, this is so cool. So there really are kind of like these little pockets of, you know, character relatability, but also allowing us to kind of have a little bit more of a glimpse into the world. And it's just a really cool way that she like breadcrumbed it all the way through so that the character really does go on a journey. So all the characters go on a journey, really.
Totally. Like even the side characters. Like I'll be getting into spoiler territory here, so maybe like scratch that from the record. But like yeah, I loved Samia too. I loved
Yeah.
her story. And you'll have to read the book to learn more about it, but her character is really really cool, and there is a connection somewhere in there. Without this not getting spoilery is really hard.
It's so hard. I'm like, how do I say this without saying the plot point?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna use the term
It's
breadcrumbs all the time because what does that even mean? So apologies, listeners, to us trying to navigate how we actually talk about a book without spoiling it. I think we can. I think we can.
breadcrumbs sounds smart.
I think we
It's
can
fine.
kind of do like a little lay of the land. Like we kind of get to see these really cool places. Like they go to a salt market, where in like the way that she describes some of these places, and how these characters are interacting with their environments is really cool. Like you go through a couple different places, like the jungle. They're crossing a kingdom, and it's not just like you're thinking a kingdom like
Yeah.
maybe it's like they're crossing city walls. They're not even in civilization. Like they're in the middle of nowhere. And the way that she describes everything and the conversations that are had because obviously they're not alone, they're with other people and how they interact with others, it kind of just gives them a better understanding of like, okay, maybe this character is someone we can trust or maybe it's somebody we can't trust or it's like little clues like that that really help us with the character development and the world building, I would say.
And something else with characters too, I find like I really like a book if an author can make me vehemently hate someone. And there were a few people in this book where I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that rat bastard!" Like,
100%.
I was just like, "Fuck you!" and your entire family line. Like,
Yeah.
so I think she does a really really good job there of also describing the villains.
Totally. And I think that's super, super important in terms of character arc and everything. Like being able to have,
Yeah.
being able to have like the protagonist be able to navigate it. The third thing on our list is magic system. Is there magic? Maybe there isn't, maybe there is. How does it work? Is it easy to understand? What kinds of magic are there? So in this book, there is magic. There is different kinds of magic. I actually feel like she has barely scratched the surface of what magic is in this world. Because we really only start to understand it for maybe like three or four of the characters. We don't even
Yeah.
there's a little bit of glamoring that happens and there's a little bit of like fire magic stuff like that. Like there's little blips of stuff. I feel like that's not too spoilery. Hopefully that's okay. I'm not talking about who has what. We're just talking about just
The
please forgive me.
types of magic.
The types. Yes. So there's that. There's you kind of just get like a little window into it, and we do meet like the different kings and different magic that they have, and Olin is a human, so that obviously like got to think she doesn't have any, right? Like that's a big part of why there's conflict in the world is there's fairies, there's imps, there's humans, so it becomes like a big point of contention, right? So I think there's just so much more to learn about the magic system, and based on how this ends, I'm going to assume there's another book. I'm hoping there's another book. So I'm hoping we really get to learn more about that because there's just so much that she hasn't dived into yet.
Yeah, and I think it's unique. Like it's a little bit different from other books that I have read, in terms of how the magic works and who has what power, and what power is most dominant in a person versus like secondary. Like it's really, really cool. The magic system is really, really cool. And I think there is such an opportunity for a second book to really like get us in that system and really understanding like what that all means for the future of these characters and the world that they live in.
Totally. Totally. I love that. And it's you said that, I actually forgot that they do have like secondary and primary magic. Like there's just so many layers to it. And it's really cool to read about. And there's one character in particular whose magic I still don't really understand. Even though like it's talked about quite a lot. Like it is actually like a big part of the story. I just still don't really fully understand what it is or what it means or what it does. And I really want to know more. Like I finished the book and I was like, I still don't understand. Paige,
I don't
I
even
still
know
don't
what
understand.
you're talking about. I don't even know what you're talking about. Oh no. We're going to have to, after we stop recording, you're going to have to tell me.
Yeah, because I don't want to, again, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm trying so hard to not spoil anything. Goddamn.
So hard. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 4 on our list. 4 out of 5. Any good book needs some conflict, right? We need a protagonist. We need an antagonist. We need a climax. We need all of these things for a good book. Pun well intended.
Okay, I was like, didn't want to say it, but really glad you said it.
Obviously. So in this book, is the conflict enough to drive the story? Because, that's really what drives stories forward. Are the stakes high enough to really dig in? And my thoughts on this is, in the first couple of chapters, you're kind of questioning, what are the stakes? Like, what is happening here? And then the story starts, you learn a little bit of history, and you're just like, oh, okay, I need to see how this ends. Like, and you don't really know who the big bad is, like you're like, there's so many options. Like it's really good. Yeah.
100%. And I think there's like the big question mark that's still like, it got kind of answered, but there's still a lot more to it. It's kind of like, why is Olin even involved in the first place? Is the biggest question mark. Right? Like that's kind of like, I feel like that's just the big driving question is like, why is Olin even involved?
Yeah, she's human.
Really? Like
nobody should
give a shit. She's just human. Yeah. Why do people care? And I think that's just, that's something that I held on to and I still hold on to because I still feel like there's a lot that needs to be talked about in terms of, her story and the overall plot of the book that I'm not going to talk about. That I'm not going to spoil.
We're trying really hard, Paige. We're trying so hard.
We're doing well. We're doing okay. You're right. The first few chapters are kind of like, what is this book? Because it's kind of like a little bit of an adventure. Like we're in the treetops of, I think it's called Sith, and she's like leaving her house, and we're getting a lay of the land and all that kind of stuff. And then like something really, really bad happens, and then the story really starts. And it takes the first few chapters to be like, okay, there's something here I really need to explore more. So I'm going to keep going because what the fuck?
Yeah. Exactly. What the fuck? In the best way. Like you really want to keep going and like Devin, or I don't know if Devin said it or I said it earlier. We were so lucky to be part of the beta reading group. So we've now read this book twice. In a beta version, and then now the publishable version that'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks. And it's really cool to see the growth over that time, like the changes that were made and that kind of stuff. And I think those changes really helped solidify that conflict to drive the story. Like there were a few things that changed early that I thought, oh, this was a right move, because it really helps you like get sucked in way faster.
Totally. And it helps eliminate any confusion about what we're trying to kind of look for in terms of clues to keep us going. And one thing I really appreciated too is I actually felt the stakes changed throughout the book. Like it felt like the stakes at the beginning of the book are high, but you're still kind of figuring things out. So it's kind of like they're high, but you're like, what else is there almost? And then it really shifts, I want to say, like halfway through the book. And it shifts for like I will say there's two kind of major storylines. Like you have Olin and you have Samya, and they both really change probably within a couple chapters of each other. And it's such a cool shift because like you have to know when you're reading it that in some way this is all going to make sense and this is going to connect. And eventually it does, and it's really freaking cool. But it's like it kind of starts off being it's kind of like you're reading it and you're like, who the fuck is this character? Like, why do I have to care about this? It's kind of like, if anyone who's read Throne of Glass can relate, it's kind of like when you get to book 4 and you're reading Air of Fire and Manon just shows up out of nowhere and you're like, what the fuck? Who is this?
That is a great analogy.
Where the fuck is she then? Because it's kind of like that. I think Samya's chapter is like, her first chapter isn't until like chapter 6 or 7 in the book, or 8 even. Like, it's a ways in. You kind of really get to know Olin, and you're like, okay, this is my girl. We're on a little adventure. We got some stakes. We're figuring things out. And then you're like, who the fuck is Samya? What are you doing here? And it really is.
Then we fell in love with her.
We did. It's like a Manon jump scare where you're like,
totally. Manon jump scare. That's a new trope. That you have coined a new trope. The Manon jump scare.
It kind of is. But it's still like, it's so good. And that's why I feel like the stakes just change, because you're like, we finally kind of understand Samya, and then we kind of like really understand both of them because the stories kind of change within a chapter or two of each other. And then you're like, whoa, okay, here we go. And then it's just like you fly through the last half of the book.
Totally.
So good. All right, and number 5 on our list of must-haves for romantasy, and this feels like a given considering our podcast, is spice. Is this an adventure over spice? Is this spice over adventure? What is the qualitete of the spice? Is it worthy? Okay. Now, this book, I will say, I think is more adventure over spice. I think
I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not mad about it. I think it's a really cool way to kind of... She did her very first novel very well. Like, it's not just like straight smut, straight spice. Because I think it actually wouldn't do her world building justice if she was just like, cock this, pussy that. Like, it would just be like it'd be too much. It would be too much qualitete. And we would never get to the plot of the book. So
no, it wouldn't be qualitete. That's the
it would not,
it wouldn't be qualitete.
No. I really do feel like it's adventure over spice. Now, with that being said, there's really only like, I want to say 2 spicy scenes in this.
Not many. No, not many.
It's like 2, maybe 3, but they're not really, I'd say like 2.5. And I would say 1 out of the 2 of them is fabulous. It's well done. I think it's earned. It's fashion. It's fantastic.
It's loving.
Yes. So good. Adventurous even. And then the other one is still good. It's a little bit, if I'm going to be honest, unexpected. It's a little unexpected in the moment. And then the other kind of times it felt appropriate because it was like a build.
Yeah, totally agree. And yeah, like I think like spice has to be warranted, right? Like you said, like it can't be the whole plot of the book. And I think it's well placed. You know, I think it's really, really well placed in this one. And and it has one of my favorite tropes of all time.
Mm-hmm. Do tell.
We got some fated mates, which we have been given the okay to say. We've got some fated mates, but only one of them knows.
Indeed.
It's so good. It's so good. And
good.
I love that. Like, I love
Yeah.
that. And Paige, thank you. There is no miscommunication. Love you, girl.
Lee loves you too, Paige.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I also love a fated mates trope. I think it. I mean, it's not like it's not an obvious trope in all fantasy novels, but I just feel like it. When one of them knows and the other one doesn't, I think it just adds such an extra layer of conflict that makes the reward so much sweeter when it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so especially with this, it was just the right move. I think if both of them knew, it just wouldn't be as exciting, and the stakes wouldn't feel as high. So,
Yeah.
well done, Paige.
Totally.
Well done. You have
Well
our support
done.
for that one.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And usually I can see that trope a mile away, and I did not.
No, because she lays breadcrumbs for like a misdirect really well. Really well.
Yeah.
Like really well. Like when stuff happens, we gasped, Paige. Like
Seriously.
we both were like texting each other being like, what the fuck? What do you mean?
What just happened?
Like,
oh my God.
like I could probably find our WhatsApp chat thread where we were just like, what the fuck? Like, all right. Did not see that happening. So, not to be a spoiler, but you should read this book. It's so good.
You should.
Okay, with that being said, I'm going to read a small little clip of this book because it's not too spoilery. It's actually an action sequence that happens right at the beginning of the book. And it's worthwhile to read a little clip. So we're going to read it. This is from Olin's perspective. The chapter is called The Ravager, so buckle up. Screams came from Sif, broken and full of terror. I broke into a sprint, not giving a damn about staying on the path and not noticing when the kitchen knife slid from my grip or where my bag had fallen in the dirt. Branches tore at my arms as I passed, but I barely felt the pain. For every shrill scream that pierced the air, I was tortured with the knowledge that it could be theirs, that they could be fighting for their lives right now, but my legs would only move so fast. I had never wished for wings more than I did in this moment. If something had happened to them, if they died alone thinking I'd left them. I tore back to the outskirts, lungs burning with fire as seconds stretched to minutes. As the first ring of dwellings came into sight, another roar sounded, louder now, sending my heart jumping in my throat. I strained to see in the darkness. Sith was unrecognizable. The creature had left a trail of destruction in its wake. Towers of stacked dwellings were smashed into the ground, now barely more than collections of trinkets, glass, and broken lumber. And, to my horror, a thin layer of rot covered every surface. The horrible stench of decay hung on the air, rancid and sweet. My blood turned to ice. I knew what this creature was. Something of nightmares, something that couldn't possibly exist, that had retreated into the abyss long ago alongside the cruel gods. I could only hope I was wrong. The ground was spongy under my feet as I leapt over half-dissolved iron hooks that had held ever-burning lanterns not even an hour ago. I slipped on what was left of a body, covered in mold like white fur, and let out a strangled cry as I felt my foot go through a skull. Hot tears burned the back of my throat. It was fine. They would be fine. I would find them huddled for safety in our home, or maybe they'd gotten away, managed to run with a few seconds head start they might have had thanks to my father's foresight. I sprinted around the corner to our dwelling, then skidded to a halt, choking down a sob. Cruel gods, I whispered. Yeah. Goddamn.
That's some good writing, Paige. Some damn good writing.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it there because I could go on, but we're just going to take that.
You feel it
Holy.
right in your throat, like right here. Like, it's good.
Yeah. Holy. Yeah. You should probably just read this book. Speaking of
Probably.
that, what would you rate it? What would you rate this book? Because we've talked about what our must-haves are, right? We've talked about the five things, the world building. We've talked about character development, magic system, conflict, spice. What would you give this book?
I don't know. Like, I don't want to be like, of course it's 5 stars. You know what I mean? Like, because like this is a friend of ours and it's so good, but it's so fucking good. Like, it's just so damn good. So like, it is a 4 to 5 for me. I don't even
Yeah,
know. Like, I don't even know what could have made it better necessarily, but like, it's just so good. It's just so
it's
good.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm on a similar vein. I think it's probably like a 4 to 5 for me. Um, yeah, I think it's a very fair assessment. Like, she's our friend and we got this amazing privilege. But that's not to say we shouldn't be honest about our review, right? Like, if we didn't like it, we'd be like, what the fuck? But we did. We loved it. Like, we devoured it. I
Yeah.
think, and keep in mind, we read this not as a book. We read this on like a computer. I read it on my laptop. So I'm sitting in
I
my
read it on
living
my
room, like reading
phone.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Which, like, normally I read in a Kindle or I read a book. So it was a different way of absorbing content, right? It was really, really well done. It was really well done. And I think it was such a good introduction to who Paige is as an author, and, you know, her ability to create a world and take us into that world and allow us to kind of explore it a little bit without it being like so overwhelming that we were like, whoa, too much. It was a really great read. And I wouldn't say it's like a beginner fantasy novel, because I think if you didn't really appreciate
No.
world building and that kind of stuff, you wouldn't really enjoy it. But like, because you still need to have the basics of fantasy to love it. But yeah, I think it was a great read.
Yeah, totally. And I found myself too lately. I think I need a break from fantasy because the book that I'm reading right now, what I'm finding is like I'm losing track of things.
Hmm.
Like, oh, who was that and when did that happen and where are they and what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
But I didn't get that with this at all. Like, it
Hmm.
led you through the story well enough for me to not lose my place or my mind, which was
Yeah.
fabulous. So yeah, I think I need like a
Yes.
palate cleanser coming up here.
Yes. Well, that's usually what I do is I'll read like a fantasy and then I read a brain candy novel, like a 300-page rom-com, and then I'll read a fantasy because I just need
Hmm.
a cleanser. Um, but yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, like,
Thoroughly
nice,
enjoyed.
nice job, Paige. Like, honest to
Yeah,
God, I
well
I
done.
would, I will. Every woman who reads fantasy in my life will be receiving this book for a birthday or Christmas.
I love it
Yeah.
because it's a great book. It's a great book. Um, would recommend. 10,
Hmm.
10 out of 10 would recommend. Um, how do we feel about this drink? Did it pair well?
I I love this drink. I think it is delicious because it's not sweet. Like, it's like it gives that vibe, but I don't know. I feel like it's maybe too fresh for the
Hmm.
book. Like,
Hmm.
it's delicious. Don't get me wrong. I could have 10 more of these, but I'm not sure if it fits really the, like, there's almost a dark vibe to the book,
Hmm.
like when you're watching a show and they put that, like a cop show or something, and they put that like dark, everything's scary filter on.
Mm.
That's
Okay.
kind of what it felt like to me. So like, I thought
Hmm.
about adding maybe some cassis to this. It'd just give it a little bit more
Mm.
depth, maybe.
Maybe.
But it would sweeten it though, so I don't know about that. Because I don't think this book needs a sweet drink.
Hmm.
I think it needs like a
No,
complex drink.
it is definitely on the sweeter side of things. I think if you
Hmm.
had the basil, you might feel a little differently because it does add
Yeah.
that herbaceousness that, I mean, I really love. And when I thought like wild, I was like, okay, it needs to have like some kind of herb or something in it because it needs to have that
Hmm.
like that grounded sort of flavor, and I didn't want to go so herbaceous to be like, let's do a chartreuse rinse and blah blah blah. Like I'm not into that, and I feel like
I
that's
don't
a
know what
little
the
too
fuck that is.
intense. You don't want to. It
Okay.
tastes like medicine. It tastes like
no, thank
herb
you.
medicine. No,
No,
you
thank you.
don't
Like
want it.
Jaeger? Oh no.
No, Jaeger's way better than chartreuse.
Oh God.
One day,
I can't.
one day,
Oh.
we'll order it at a restaurant. I'll order like a shot of it, and we can taste it and decide if we want to ever use it. We'll go for
Will
drinks.
we
Don't
need
worry.
puke buckets? Like
It's not. It's not like
it's worse
so
than
bad
Jaeger.
that you'll hate it. It's you don't just like pour a whole shot of chartreuse in a drink. Normally, it's something that just like you rinse the glass with it and dump it, so it adds like
okay.
an essence of the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if like dark is the right route because I didn't feel like this book was super super dark. I don't know. There were moments of that for sure, but I actually felt like in terms of fantasy, this is kind of like middle of the road, not super bubbly, but not super dark. Like I actually thought it was pretty even keel, at least for the first like 3/4 of the book. The last bit, it kind of gets pretty fucking dark. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna mull on it. I still think this is delicious, but maybe it's not the right. Maybe it's not the right. I'm gonna think that. I'm gonna think on that. Maybe for the next episode.
Because I was going to say, we have another episode coming up on this book.
And we do.
So, yeah.
Do you want to introduce
we
that?
have a chance. Sure. I'm so excited. So, yeah, so next episode, I think it'll be our next episode. If not, we'll let you know. It depends on, everybody's schedules and all of that stuff. What we are actually going to do is another first. Today was our first with the spoiler-free podcast. The first. Our second first will be next time when we actually bring Paige Hurtubise, author Paige Hurtubise, on the podcast to talk to her about her book. That will be after it comes out, so we'll be able to be a little bit more spoiler-full, and we'll be able to ask Paige a little bit about her process, like where this book came from and what were some of the inspiration for the places and the characters and like that kind of stuff. I'm really interested to ask her those questions.
Totally. I'm so thrilled, and I'm so excited that she wants to be on here. She listens to our podcast regularly, and I know she was like, I can't wait for your unhinged synopsis, and so she's like very excited for that portion specifically, so we do need to deliver that for her. But yeah, this is going to be so exciting, and it's going to be after, like Courtney said, it's going to be after the book's out, so we'll actually be able to talk about it, where you can get it, because I believe as of right now, it doesn't come out until next weekend, possibly a couple weeks.
I believe
have to double.
So the
15th, I think.
Yeah, 15th or 16th.
The Saturday.
In there. Saturday.
The Saturday
16th.
of that weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you feel inclined to go, I believe there's a book release happening that day at a local bookstore where you can get the book signed by Paige herself. It's at the bookstore Forbidden Library, which is in Lake Bonavista Vista Mall. And it's a really cool little store, actually, for those of you local to Calgary. If you haven't been, Courtney and I love it in there. It's a cute little store that's got tons of selection. The owner is wonderful. She brings in a lot of different stuff. They host book clubs, book bedazzling nights, all sorts of stuff. She's fantastic, so definitely worthwhile to check it out. And to go to support Paige. With that being said, I think that's all we've got for today's episode of Pages and Potions podcast. This was a really hard episode to record because I constantly felt like I was going to be like, oh shit, I can't say that. Oh my god. Like I could have just been like constantly like, fuck. Like, shit, I said that. It would just be like expletive bleep, like every time.
We don't bleep shit on this podcast.
No, we don't. It would just it would be bleeping the spoilers, not me saying fuck. Let's be clear about that.
It just would have been like beep for half an hour.
Yeah. Just the whole episode spoilers. But let us know if you end up trying this gimlet drink, or if you decide to make something a little more herbaceous for your reading situation. Let us know. And if you end up buying The Wild Kingdom when it comes out and need to feel heard or want to share your thoughts on it, please tag us, please comment. Pages and Potions Podcast is our handle on Instagram and TikTok, and we do check our DMs, so please message us. And I cannot wait for next episode. I'm so thrilled to
Me
have
too.
Paige on here. It's going to be amazing. Let us know if you have any questions you'd like to ask Paige. It doesn't even, like, it has to be about writing and her process, or like maybe the book, but you probably haven't read it. But try to keep it on theme. But if you have questions for her, we are happy to read them out on the podcast. And yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up.
I think so. I think so. So yeah, stay tuned for next episode because it if nothing else, it will be funny.
Yes. We haven't seen Paige in person in a long time, so this will
I
be
know.
nice to be at least virtual with her. So yes. Until then, beautiful people, stay spicy, keep spilling the tea, and thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Pages and Potions podcast. Cheers.
Cheers. God, that drink is good.
Damn.